Hello and welcome to Roster Review. I'm T and I'm going to be reviewing CSGO rosters, then placing them on this incredibly scientific tier list. In future episodes I will feature rosters that you, the viewer, have left in the comments. But for today, we are only looking at teams that have been confirmed or that are rumoured to be coming up. There will also be a special guest appearance at the end from one of my friends, as he will provide a dream team of sorts to round out this episode. Okay, let's begin with the teams we know exist. DreamTeam just announced this roster with Azza, Grat, Liaz from the old 100 Thieves lot, Jacob, who's come back from his retirement home in Norway, and Bentet, who was recently on Gen G, to replace JKS, who has moved on to Complexity, where he is doing great things. So this roster previously was decent with JKS. They had a number of good placings, finishing in the top 2, top 4 at many high-level events. Their only problem was they lacked a little bit of that extra star power, that superstar power that could really drive them to win championships. Has this changed with this roster? I'm not entirely sure. Bentet is good, but we haven't seen from him that sort of tier 1 superstar impact that you'd want. So I'm not sure he's much of an upgrade. But I don't think he's a downgrade from JKS. So here is our tier list. Now we have the top elite contenders. So these are teams who will expect to finish in the top 4 at every single event they attend. Anything less will be considered a disappointment. Now solid top 10, teams that will realistically get some good placings, but most of the time won't, and will spend a lot of time just in the top 10 on HLTV or other such rankings. Nothing wrong with being there, but also not amongst the very, very best. Next, we have meh, 10th to 20th. So, attending decent amount of S-tier events, but never really in real contention. They're still going to be shitting on teams who are in tier 2. So, if they ever end up in MDL, they should be coming straight back up. Things like that. Good teams, but not realistically contenders. Our fourth category would be NACS. Just mediocre, nothing special. And finally we have garbage, so just disregard those teams. So this Extremum roster, prior to their split, were solid top 10, bordering on elite contenders. They were able to consistently sit in the top 5, but they never really won anything. So that's why I'm incredibly hesitant to call them an elite contender. And I'm not going to. For me, they belong firmly in the solid top 10. The next team we know for sure is the New Look Cloud9. Now, the New Look Cloud9 features the same 4 we had before, so Esatag, Floppy, Mezzi, and Alex. But then the new 5th is Zeppa. The team prior to these changes underwhelmed many, myself included. Really, what can we say about this change? You've removed an AWPer who at times has looked amazing in his career, and other times has looked average, and you've replaced him with an up-and-coming player who has really shined in the limited competition he's faced in North America, but we have no real guarantee that he's capable of competing amongst the European best, at least. It still remains to be seen if he can perform, but for now, Cloud9 remain where I've believed they have been for the last 3 months, and that's in meh. 10th to 20th. It's the best I can predict for this team. I'm not going to insult them by calling them NACS or garbage, but 10th to 20th seems reasonable for now. There's not been enough of an upgrade in these changes to really convince me of anything. Thirdly, the new Ents. Oh jeez, the new Ents. So Ents, as some of you might have heard in my previous ramblings about Alu, are deciding to keep Alu. And their new roster is Alu, Doto, Snappy, Spinks, and Disha, the Polish player, spelled D-Y-C-H-A. I've got a picture on the screen probably, why am I even saying this? I was kind of excited to see what they could be in the future if they had signed the young Danish player TMB instead of Spinks. I've seen a fair amount of Spinks. He's alright, but I think his ceiling is below the level it needs to be to make this team good. I've not seen enough from Doto. Alu's on the way down. Snappy's not a game changer of an IGL. He's good, but he's not a game changer. And finally, Dusha is a bit meh. Unfortunately for them, they're going in the NACS tier. They're not complete garbage, but they're close. They're really close. So that's all the teams that I've decided to rank today that are confirmed. There's been many rumours, though, surrounding Mousesports and FaZe. Specifically, the return of Carrigan to the all-star international roster of FaZe. And then, with the new signing of Acor to replace Chris J in Mousesports, there's also been rumoured that they're going to bring in Dexter to replace Carrigan when he finally leaves for FaZe. On the FaZe side, we've heard Twists who might be signed, and the rumoured roster seems to be Carrigan, Twists, Cold Zero, Rain, and Brokey. So it'd be Twists coming in the spot of Kirby. Now, he could, if he is signed, come in as a sixth man or come in the place of Rain. I highly doubt that. In terms of the starting five, I'd see him more coming in for Kirby, and Kirby being a sixth man if they kept him. So that's the roster we're going to work with, the five-man roster we're going to work with. So, the new FaZe: Carrigan, Twist, Cold Zero, Rain, Brokey. This team has nuts potential. Absolutely insane potential. Carrigan takes every team to a new level. He makes the most out of all the players he has, and he generally plays to his stars' strengths. Now, his stars on this team are, well, basically everyone, and it'll be his toughest project since he last played for FaZe. But I see them reaching pretty high level with this roster, especially if Carrigan can get the most out of Twists, which we've seen at times in Liquid where he can really be an MVP level player. And that's why I think FaZe, if they were able to sign this team or a slight variation on this team, will be elite contenders. The new Mousesports. So Dexter, Acor, Rops, Frozen, BMAS. Oh, I want this team to be amazing. I really do. They have so much young talent, so much potential. But, here's the but. In order to make this roster work, one of the young guys is going to have to step back and fill in as a more supportive element. It's going to be asking a lot, especially in the first 3 to 6 months, which is generally the time period I'm trying to judge these on in terms of where they'll reach. It's a lot of work for Dexter to try and figure out how to optimize this team, especially if these are players he's never played before. He's never played with before. So I can't force myself to put them any lower than solid top 10, but I can't push them into elite contenders. Dexter is too much of an unknown. He's got great numbers for an IGL. How well will that translate? Will this Mousesports just be like a Hellraisers of the past, with Angel the fragging IGL, a bunch of young and up-and-coming players around him, able to upset someone every now and then, but they're better than the old Hellraisers, though. They have more star power, but I can't push them into elite contention. Solid top 10. Finally, we have the Dream Team from my friend Flint. Now, I went to him and I asked him, name your dream Counter-Strike team. So 5 players, and because he's a Liquid fanboy, I told him he's not allowed to pick any more than 2 current or former Liquid players. So here's the response I got. Firstly, Stewie2K, for the positivity he brings to the team. It is good to have someone in the team who is always positive and improves the team mentality. He's a Stewie2K fan. He had to find a way to put Stewie2K in and not look like an idiot, because the rest of these players he didn't have to justify so extremely. Secondly, Nico for the AK frags, Ziwu for the AWP, Glaive for the IGL, and Flusher for the hacks. Which I think is the best justification for including Flusher in any team. But what do I think this team could realistically achieve? Well, it's a dream team. Straight into elite contention. You've got Ziwu and Nico, 2 of the only legitimate superstars in the game right now. You have alongside them arguably the best IGL Counter-Strike has seen in terms of the amount of wins he has. I'm very much in the Carrigan camp, but Glaive, undeniably, probably going to retire as one of the all-time greats, without a shadow of a doubt. You have Stewie2K to play roles, Flusher to play any role you want. I mean, you've got Ziwu and Nico. Everyone else can play average and you'd still probably be in elite contention. So yeah, for a dream team, What else can you expect? Okay, those are the teams. That's where I've placed them. Leave a comment telling me how you think you would have rated them, and also leave a comment of a team you want me to review. Keep them realistic. I'm not going to review 15 fucking dream teams a week. It'll be a bit of a waste of time. But yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it, sub if you want to see some more, and that's all for this one. Goodbye.